everybody, what's happening? It's your buddy KV. Man, we got a fun show for you. This is going to be a lot of fun, actually. Real talk. Straight up real talk. And just good times, because that's just the way we roll here, right? You know? But my guest, Annika Chambers, is just, you'll hear. We're going to be getting on into this, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I guess the way that I'm going to put this is like, you know, I hope that you guys approach us with an open mind. I urged so many people to come by and check out the show, and hopefully if they don't catch this live, they'll catch the podcast or, you know, catch it online here again on Facebook or YouTube or whatever. But I think there's going to be some very important things, some uneasy things, some things that we got to learn and get understanding, you know, to hopefully create something bigger, better for all of us. You know, it's a crazy time in this world. But I'm so glad that we have somebody like Annika who has so much understanding and foresight, and then that voice. You will hear it. It's so good. It's so good. But I'm going to go ahead and, as we do, I'm going to get started with a tune here. Well, all right. Yeah. Standing on my front porch, watch my cities burn. Flames light up the heaven. When they ever gonna learn? I hope my baby boy's so tired, said, son, I just don't know, no. Daddy ain't around to help you. Know just where you're gonna go. The trust has been broken. The truth has been spoken, yeah. Can you hear the cries dying to leave, yeah. There ain't no denying something's gotta give, yeah. Yeah, there's a thin blue line, those who abuse the badge. How can we tell the good ones from the bad? To protect and to serve, well, I can only pray. Enough is enough, well, oh, it's time for a change. The trust hasn't broken. How the truth has been spoken, yeah. Can you hear the cries dying to leave, yeah. There ain't no denying something's gotta give. Ain't about black or white, it's about wrong or right, yeah. So many stories and so many lies, yeah. A change is gonna come, yes it is. Yes it is, yeah. Hey. There ain't no lives matter till those black lives matter. Oh, all my people of color, oh, my sisters, my brothers, trust has been broken. that's been spoken. Yeah. Can you hear the cries dying to live? Well, there ain't no denying. Whoa, whoa, now the trust has been broken. Now the truth has been spoken. Yeah. Can you hear the cries dying to live? Yeah. There ain't no denying. Hey. Something's gotta give. Hey. Something's gotta give, Lord. Well, here we go. Something's gotta give. I'm gonna go ahead and get Annika Chambers on up here. Oh my goodness, where you is? There you are. Hey, you.
Hi.
What's happening?
What's going on?
Oh man, you know, just same old, same old.
I was sitting here rocking out.
Well, that's the way we roll in this place. Yes, you're not allowed here unless you rock out.
Yeah,
That is.
jamming, man.
Yeah. How are you?
Nah, I'm good. Just obviously, I think I'm emotional. I feel like I'm more emotional every day by the day.
Right.
I feel hopeful. I think that's a good word. I'm holding on to hope.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. So unless you've been living under a rock, some good news that we got, this past week. And it's in my backyard, man. I'm here in Minneapolis, and it's a trip. I honestly, like, I cried my eyes out, when word came down, man. I did. It was an amazing thing, this big just relief, and then you would hear, like, the thing is when we were, everybody was saying that there's going to be some sort of riot. Everybody was saying that something's going to go on, something's going to happen, whether, old boy's going to be found guilty or not not charged the way that he should have been or whatever. And in the end, yeah, they got him on everything. But here was the most beautiful thing, aside from the fact that, like, accountability was had. What I saw wasn't about rioting. What I saw wasn't about looting. What I saw wasn't about anything like that. What I saw was a bunch of people with this same emotion that I was having, hugging each other, loving each other, people of different colors, backgrounds, just creeds, the whole thing. It was such a powerful moment. Yeah. And then it's just like right after that, it's like, all right, back to the same old. That's, unbelievable.
But I think it was a good point to see America, or see, the city, like, actually come together and set the precedence for how America can look.
Yes.
When we actually realize, like, no one's saying just Black Lives Matter.
No.
No one's saying, we're saying that at this point, Black Lives Matter because we haven't had justice in the courts dating back to Emmett Till. So,
right.
And before that, obviously, with our ancestors. So I think the magical thing that happened when we saw on camera what happened to George Floyd, we all were able to see what we've been saying.
Yeah.
In 9 minutes and 29 seconds, we were able to see that, and then it was just this world movement with all these protests, and you just you had to do the right thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think the sad thing for me personally is after that, how, I don't know, things are still very polarized, and I saw some of the most ugly, hateful statements ever after that. And it's like, did you guys not watch the same trial or hear the same, testimonies or
Right.
see the same, uh, um, evidence, that I did? And
Right.
even if you didn't, did you not see what was recorded there? It's like it's plain as day. You know what I mean? It's plain as day. And that is just one of those things that just it blows my mind and it makes me sad to still see things politicized,
Right.
politicized and just
But human to me, when you think of human rights, when you think of just being a part of the greater good, like how does politics play into that? Like
right.
why do your rights? Why does this person get to walk away alive from a scene, but yet you know George Floyd couldn't?
Right.
Or just think about Ahmaud Arbery or Breonna Taylor. There's just so many. To me,
Uh-huh.
Philando Castile.
God,
Daunte
right down the
Wright.
road. Right. Yeah.
There's just so many, and it's like we're just all asking for equal human rights, and part of that is being in America and actually our law enforcement, just as kind as they are to the mass murderers, your mass shooters, like be the same with us. We're our skin color is not a crime.
No.
You know,
No. I mean, yeah, like I think some of the real hateful things that I kept seeing and still see are the fact that like, oh, here we are glorifying a junkie, here we are glorifying a criminal. And it's like, y'all just ain't getting it.
but a junkie. I mean, and why is he a junkie? Because America, we spend so much time putting pills into people, and of course, he's not. He wasn't the only junkie. There's several junkies out
Yeah.
there, and it's a disgrace to try and discredit him and say, oh, well, that's why he died. But if the knee wouldn't have been on the neck, we watched the trial. We watched
Yeah.
the trial so we could hear for ourselves, what the experts were saying.
Right.
And so you can't blame you. It doesn't make sense to me if you say, "Oh, he was on drugs." Okay, yes, that's fine. That's a fact. But he also had a knee on his neck.
Yeah. And the other thing that I think about whenever I hear people say that, like, oh, we're glorifying a junkie, we're glorifying, just a bad guy, and I'm like, well, had he lived, who are we to say that he couldn't have turned it around?
Come on. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like there's the logic right there. You guys could have helped him, hopefully, have a better day.
Right.
That's all I'm saying, man. And it's again, it's like it frustrates me to no end. But like you said, there was that silver lining, and I saw it too. Where like people were man seeing people just love on each other like that, and see how it can be that it's not about this violence or this culture or this whatever. It's the fact that like man we've been so divided for so long, and I think really what I feel is there was this moment where maybe I thought maybe people's eyes have kind of opened up a little bit, like maybe it took this for people to go, wow, this really does happen.
Yeah.
Or maybe it there's just that sliver of hope where like, yeah, we got it right this time, let's do it again. you know there's nothing wrong with that. And anybody that tries to get in the way of that, it's just like, why would you do that? That's progress. I think what a lot of people don't understand too, and and we're going to get into some music, we're going to get into some fun stuff, but what's awesome is, I have a wife who's in corrections. Okay, I have a wife who's in corrections, and she's even just going like, like she supports Blue Lives,
Mm-hmm.
but she also knows right from wrong. Yeah, you ain't supposed to be doing that. No. That's not the way that it works.
Right.
So I take hope in that too. Somebody that's actually, that works with people like that, and realize it. Like she gets it. She gets it. You also have quite the amazing background. you're very educated, and not only are you educated, you've been places where a lot of people have not been. And
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and say this and see if everybody can figure this out. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You
Yeah.
deserve
Tell
that.
us a little bit about that, man. Tell us a little
Uh,
bit about your background, about your story. I want to.
my background. Okay. Well, I'll just start from the beginning. I'm 35. I was born in 1985, and I grew up to teenage parents. My mom was 14 when she had me, and my dad was 16. And growing up, my grandparents raised me. We were, my granny had me in the church almost every day of the week. So that's where I learned that I could sing a little bit, but I didn't. I was so nervous. I didn't sing in church. I think I may have led one song when I was 15, and I sucked. So I didn't sing again.
Say what?
Yeah, yeah. But then when I was 18, I joined the military because I knew my family couldn't afford to send me to college. So I joined the service, thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna go to college right away." And sure enough, I joined, and about a year and a half later, we deployed. So, so I went to my first deployment was to Kosovo, which is over in Europe, and that was my first time experiencing like super, super, super cold weather. What y'all deal with in Minnesota? I
Yeah,
never
right.
deal with that. Being from Texas, we were just
That's called Tuesday.
it was completely like culture shock. But it was a peacekeeping mission, and I sang on bass. We had a little gospel choir, sang a lot on bass, and that's when I really learned about the blues because there was a guitar player that saw me at this talent competition on bass. I was singing with the gospel choir, and afterwards he came up to me. He said, "Hey, I know you're in the gospel, but have you ever been in the blues?" And I grew up, with just like gospel music. It wasn't really secular music in my
Sure.
grandmother's household. So when he taught me the blues, I was like, I felt at home, and so then we had a little band on bass, and we would sing. We would get to go sing for the people in Kosovo, which was really awesome. And
Yeah. How did they like that? You know?
oh, they loved it. They
How cool
loved
is
it.
that? Right.
And you realize like how music transcends and brings people together. Like it was great. It was great. I was in like a little top 40 kind of cover band, like the rock. Oh, the like what is it? The top 40 rock from back in the day. So
Sure.
they were like singing and rocking out with us.
Nice. Nice.
And then after that, we came back to the States, and then we deployed again. I went to Iraq, and
Wow.
that was around the time where I was like battling if I was going to stay in or get out because the music was calling me. And so I told my colonel, I said, sir, I think that I'm meant to sing. And he said, well, if there's anybody I think that can pull this thing off, I think it's you. So
Yes.
that was 2011, February 1st, 2011 was when I got out. And I've been singing ever since. I went to school. I got my degree in corporate communications. And so, and I said, whichever one takes off, the music or the degree, that's what I'm going to do. And the music just took on off.
Good
So.
for you. So I met you and I saw you. Gosh, this is what 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
Yeah,
in Memphis,
in Memphis, yeah.
and you blew my mind. Now I'll never forget. Like, so I'm watching you with a couple other sisters up there with like John Del Toro and cats like that, right? Like doing their thing, and you're doing the big old, I feel almost like you're getting all sexy up on in here, right? Yeah, I was like,
That's me. That's me.
oh my God, she's throwing down, she's singing, and she's just doing this. I was like, oh my God, she is owning everybody up in here. Like I was blown away by your stage presence, and then you got that voice. And I was seriously just mesmerized. I was like, how come you're just not like, sitting on top of the world right now? Like, it's like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's just being honest. And since then, just been following you and just been so proud and just been, the Blues Music Award and, your records and stuff like that. And it's just, you found your calling, which is beautiful, and you're pursuing your passion, which is beautiful. But as of late, we're just going to get right on into this and just see what happens. There's been a lot of upheaval within the blues community, and it's so weird to me because the blues community, I think why it strikes such a chord, if you will, is because it's a small community. It makes up a small percentage of people who like listeners and genres, and you like looking at Billboard charts. It's like you got like, we're not making like Taylor Swift money,
That's real talk. Yeah.
right? So but the thing is like I'm watching all of this stuff just start to kind of unravel, but unravel in such an interesting way that it kind of made me do a lot of double taking, made me do a lot of soul searching, because I was understanding it. I was getting it. I was understanding what you in particular were saying and where you were coming from. Now you got like blocked on Facebook and everything for a minute.
Yeah, they locked me up. They tried to lock me up. I've been good this time though. I was locked up last month for 30 days, but I've been good. We're gonna try and keep me out of jail this month. So it's crazy. It's so funny when they lock me up and they send me this whole like, message as to why I'm locked up, and I'm like, but I write my rebuttal and still I stay locked up. So
right. And your rebuttal was fine. What you were saying was fine. You're just speaking true.
Yeah. I'm on the Facebook watch, list. So I can't say anything crazy because they'll block me quick.
I'm so glad that they're not like watching my show very much, because I say just crazy stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Oh no, for real.
I'm sure.
They probably think they probably, I don't know what they think about me.
You just can't type it out. I noticed you can like put like different pictures up. And you can't like type out what you want to say.
Right. Man, I want to get into all of this. I totally want to get into like your thoughts on this. I want to know more about you. I want to know more about just everything. This is going to be a fun show, but I also want people to know that you sing your butt off. Yeah. Would you mind doing a song for us right now?
Sure. Let me call my honey, babe. Baby.
I love this.
Are you ready? It's our turn. I need you. Thank you.
Oh, this is great. Everybody, my friends, this is Annika Chambers.
That's my honey, Mr. Paul DesLauriers. Ooh, yeah. We're going to get all set up. So we've been working on some music with our good friends, Mr. Chris Pete and JP Soares, and of course my honey over here, Mr. Paul DesLauriers. Let me get the camera. Let me know when you're ready, baby. Say hi.
Hello.
So yeah, we've been working on some music, and we just been wanting to capture the time, and and everything that's going on. I think the best thing we can do, in addition to using our voice, is to capture the time with music as well. And so, of course, we look up to the staple singers and all that good stuff. And, we want to capture the time and share a song that we wrote called Stand Up. So I hope you dig it. In a world where there is turmoil, you gotta stand up. Ooh. In a world where there is chaos, you gotta stand up. Ooh. In a world where there is conflict, you gotta stand up. Ooh. Stand up, speak out, and use your voice. Where we need change, you gotta stand up. Ooh. Got to erase the hate, you gotta stand up. Ooh. Things can't stay the same, you gotta stand up. Ooh. Stand up, speak out, and use your voice. It's gonna split your lip like a broken tooth. Stamp away out injustice until it bleeds the truth. Speak truth to power. This is a crucial hour. Smash it down the rubber. Let's get in good trouble. Well, you just stand up. Don't darken your light. Use your voice and body to put up a fight. Will you just stand up? Hey, 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 yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Will you just stand up? You gotta speak out. I say you gotta speak out. You gotta use you gotta use your voice, yeah. You gotta stand up. Mr. Paul DesLauriers, yeah.
Man, yeah, buddy.
Yes.
Woo! I like that. I like that. You're rocking out to me. I'm rocking out to y'all. This is great. This is great. Wow. Powerful, like I said. Powerful, like I said. Sounded fantastic. Apparently, you might want to bring up your voice a little bit just from what I'm reading here in the comments and stuff. But, you know, even I guess when you're talking too, it's still a little quiet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is that better?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm I'm looking at these comments, so I'm just doing what I can to pass on the information.
I am. It's not better for you all out there.
Let's hope so. Yes. Oh my goodness. So as we were saying, you know, we were talking a lot about a lot of the stuff going on within blues music in particular. There's so much to cover that I don't even know where to start. Where would you start in this conversation and what's going on, and especially as of late?
Where would I start? You know, I think the consensus amongst black musicians, musicians of color, heritage artists, I feel as though the main thing is equity. You know, having equity in this industry, having the same opportunities that our white counterparts have. And we don't want to like separate organization. At least I don't, because I know that just as how it works in America, same with the smaller organizations around the country, it's better when we can find a way to work together.
Yes.
But what we find in a lot of corporations and a lot of organizations that we find the lack of diversity, the lack of inclusion. We find that, you know, the lack of education, you know, going into those inner city schools and teaching, kids of color, black kids, about this music. We find that that's not happening. And so I feel like, you know, we have to, the education, the equity, and I think about like, yes, I won the BMA, but I still felt like I had to hustle, like even more to like make myself like worthy in this industry. But I don't find that my white counterparts have to deal with that. You know, the
Why do you feel that is though? Like, what made you feel that you had to work that much harder?
I think blacks in general and in a lot of industries, we're just expected to be great. Like it's not special if we're great. It's more special if our young white counterparts are have this voice. It's more special, with them rather than us. And it's again, I mean, I have a group, a sisterhood of women where they're all like so different, but they're like amazing. And I'm wondering, like, why aren't you all just as big as like a Beth Hart or a Larkin Poe or, and they're
Right.
great. They're great. But I just feel like that's part of the equity too, is like, why can't we be included in that, and be at that level.
Right. Now, have you found, I guess, any reasoning behind why that is?
Well, I was told by one of the blues powers that be that I didn't have what it takes to carry on the legacy
Now,
of this
that's
music.
interesting to me. See, that's shocking to me. And this is why I believe the conversation that we're having right now is so important, because here we are. We started the show talking about this trial that just went on. And, here we are, like showing that people matter, man, and people care and people get it. And when we start looking at people of color, it's like, and especially with something like the blues, this is a black art form. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So how can you, if anybody, say that you don't have what it takes to carry on the legacy? Like that
It's comical,
is-
when you hear that, it becomes comical to the point where it's just like, really, like, okay, just say that you don't, want to support me, put money behind me, backing behind me. Just say that rather than like the unnecessary low blow that's not even true,
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess like it's always been this way, where maybe it's the sex appeal thing, maybe it's the youngsters, maybe it's like, at the end of the day, they call it the music business for a reason.
Yeah.
But man, it's such an interesting time because the business really isn't what it used to be. And this is one of the things that we've been talking about a lot on this particular show. Now, like I've been, very, very fortunate to bring in some amazing people. And then, I mean, for example, next week we got Rick Vito going to be, in here. Fleetwood Mac, John Prine, the Blues Breakers, I mean, there's just so much history within that guy, And
Yeah.
when he started and again, I mean, it's Fleetwood Mac, for God's sakes,
Yeah.
right? But here we are in 2021 and record deals like those ones back in the day, they don't exist. It's really, I think what we've talked about a lot is the fact that artists supposedly won because we have, control. We have our we can control our own music. We can go ahead and put out whatever we want. But there's just this inundation of artists that it makes it very difficult to find something that is worthwhile listening to, And then you get the blues, which is even like, just another, it's a genre, but it's a subgenre, and it gets minute, but it still has its ties into everything, in like the entire spectrum of American-made music,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I guess I'm just perplexed by the way people think about legacy, about where this comes from, about what blues actually is. Somebody got so upset with me recently when, we started talking about, this whole George Floyd thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, that's the blues.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean that's the blues? It's like, it's right there in front of you. How can you not say that that's the blues? Because this is what this is what this beautiful group of people have gone through for so long.
Yeah, this is the oppression
Yes.
that we speak about.
Yes.
This is what it is. The chains. Now it's the knee on the neck. So
Right.
that's the oppression that that we've been preaching about for all these years.
Right. Right. So, do you see a solution?
I think part of me feels like we're having a reckoning. I
Yeah.
feel as though
I'm with you. By the way,
we're having a reckoning. We're seeing how we built America, and we're seeing the things that need to change in America, because America's not what it was 100 years ago. Our ancestors fought for freedom, and I tell people any day now, anytime, like, I'm not my ancestors. We fight. We're gonna fight with our words. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna be out there protesting. My honey gonna be out there protesting. We're gonna, that's just how we're gonna roll. And we're also very well educated now.
Yes.
Our ancestors did not have the opportunity to be educated like we have today, and so we're gonna use our intellect too. We are gonna have organizations that, take for instance Colin Kaepernick and his organization teaching, black and brown kids their rights.
Yes.
And knowing their rights, because you just have to teach. You have to educate our kids. You have to educate them, and so they know when they get stopped that they have these certain rights. And I feel like that's where we are. We're having a reckoning of, we have this generation of educated young folks. We are, hip. We're ready to vote. We're ready to make change, and that's what we're doing. And so,
right. Yeah,
we're gonna make noise because that's what we gotta do.
My buddy Michael Bland shared a picture recently on his Facebook, and I don't know where it was from. I almost want to say that it was from, and again, I want to preface this. I'm not trying to get all political. I'm not a big political guy. I don't care about politics so much. My whole deal is left wing, right wing, same bird. It's about decency. It's about, it's about just
human rights.
Don't be a dick. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just be cool. Just be cool with everybody. And that's kind of like, that's where it starts. But my friend Michael, I think he had this picture of, I want to say it was like a Trump rally, or it was definitely in the Capitol. And there was a guy who actually was raising this sign, and pardon my French, but yes, it said, you fucked with the wrong generation. And I was like, there we go. That opened my eyes a little bit, because it's, again, like exactly like you were saying. We're finally starting to hit the books. We learned from our history. I'm a big history guy. Mm-hmm. We learn from our history so we don't have to repeat it,
Exactly.
And
we've continued to repeat the same history. So now it's like, okay, we can't keep if we truly want change, we can't keep allowing the same things to happen.
Correct.
We have to, again, the George Floyd thing, we have to make statements with, Chauvin. It's like, okay,
yes,
he did X, Y, and Z. Throw the book at him.
Yeah.
And then that will create a precedence going forward that you just can't go putting your knee on people's neck in whatever capacity.
Right. I mean, it's just, I'm so happy that people are starting to kind of to get it. The song that I played that I started things off with, it's called Something's Gotta Give. And that's exactly what it's about. You know, it is that reckoning. It is that, like, it's that moment where it's like, enough is enough. You know, now it's like we're arming ourselves, not with weapons, not with anything like that, but with education,
Yeah.
with knowledge. You want to go there? All right. Well, you know, we can talk about it. We can, you know, we can debate this. We can, you know, but it's history. It's history. And now it's like I'm there's that part of me that is just scared to death. But there's also that part of me that is so damn hopeful. And it's because of people like you that are leading the way, that are speaking true, that are using their platform, that are you know, that have education, facts, dates, times, this, that, the other, that are able to make, you know, just create dialogue. And not just like just spewing stuff, but actually saying, no, this actually, as a matter of fact, it's right here.
And that's how I like to do it. Is what I like to tell you. Well, you know, on this day, this
Right.
is what happened, and these are the facts.
Right.
The facts are this. And when you're able to go to someone and express that, I feel like people hear you better when you can bring to them respect and intellect. I feel like they hear you when you can break it down and say, because then, I mean, the goal is for us to leave each other better. You
Yes.
know, I'm not trying to get into a pissing match with you.
Right.
I can, but I
Of
really
course.
want you to understand. I want you to understand so that you're not like, oh, well, the country should stay how it should be or how it's been. Well, that's not working.
No. No.
That part is not working. We have to figure out a new way where we all feel comfortable living in this country. And the same goes for the music industry.
Yes.
We have to figure out a way where we all feel like we're accepted. I
Yes.
hate to feel like I'm not accepted in a music that was created by my ancestors.
Right.
It's such a strange feeling. So
Right.
that's why we have our petition. That's why we're writing down tangible solutions that, you know, the Blues Foundation, the Blues Societies, the fans, the artists, allies, you know, they can share and say, you know what, we'd like to see this happen too. We'd like to see more heritage artists. We'd like to see more heritage artists, you know, on these festivals and on these labels, maybe on these agencies.
Right. Right.
You know, and that's fair.
Right. I agree with you 100%. And here's the thing. It's like, now granted, you and I, we share that same view. We share those same ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's like it's a really difficult thing because these are tough things to talk about. I'm so glad that I think we've kind of come to this point as a nation where we can talk about this. As uncomfortable as it is, and it is. I'm sure there's people that are watching and that are going to be listening later. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't feel right about this. Well, guess what, man? Here's the cool part is like, we're just talking.
Yeah, we're just talking.
That's how change begins, is just through simple dialogue. We don't have to get up in each other's faces. It's just talking and figuring it out. I mean, you know, we're having a conversation, and maybe somewhere between whatever it is that we're saying, there's that hint of truth, or there's that lightning bolt that'll just kind of strike somebody and go, oh, that's why that's important.
Yeah.
Or I get it. Man, and you touched on something just now that we're going to get into, you know, blues societies, festivals, the blues music industry, things like that. It's going to get real, folks. It's going to get real. But I'm going to play a song first. So I'm going to do a song before we get into this. Everybody, this is my friend Annika Chambers. I'm going to do a tune here, and we're going to get back and talk some more. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Man, this is, woo, I'm getting all just like that.
That's good stuff, man.
Just like that. You know, conversation is a beautiful thing. All right, we'll be right back with you. And I'm going to grab my trusty guitar. And I'm going to do that, and that, and that. All righty. Yeah, real talk, like I said, y'all. When I wake up early in the evening, just in time to watch the sun go down, I've been thinking, yeah, on my angels for keeping me here above the ground. When I go out to the city, Lord, I see the bright old neon signs. I'm thinking, yeah, all my angels for keeping me here above the ground. One more day, yeah. Lord, just one more day above the ground, yeah. I'm thinking all my angels, yeah, for keeping me here above the ground. When I go out to the country, yeah, I see the amber waves of grain. I'll be thanking all my angels for letting me see them once again. Just one more day, one more day, yeah. One more day above the ground. I'm thinking, yeah, all my angels for keeping me here above the ground, yeah. When I wake up early in the evening, just in time to watch the sun go down, I've been thinking on my angels, yeah, for keeping me here above the ground. When I go out to the country, oh, I see the amber waves of green. I'll be thanking all my angels, yeah, for letting me see them once again. Just one more day, hey, one more day, yeah. One more day above the ground. I'm thinking, yeah, all my angels are for keeping me here above the ground. Well, just one more day, just one more day, yeah. Well, I'm thinking all my angels for keeping me here above the ground. I'm keeping me here above the ground, yeah. I'm keeping me here above. Hey, yeah. There we go. Let's get Annika back in here. Turn off my verb, put my guitar away, and away we go.
Yay. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That was fun.
Yeah.
Woke me up just a little bit. Yeah, it's been one of those days. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
this entire week has been like 40 some odd degrees.
Oh.
Today, we got up in the mid 60s, man.
Hey.
Heat wave. Heat
I'm
wave.
I'm with you. You know, we're down in Florida, so
Man.
I won't rub it in.
Yeah, I know. I grilled today, though, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to grill finally because it was warm enough.
So
But,
you be
yeah.
cooking. You be cooking up there.
Oh, you best believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was busy behind that grill, man. Salmon tonight.
Yeah. I'm with it. We like
I'm
a
with it,
good
too.
grilled salmon. My honey makes a good grilled salmon. So
I love you guys, by the way. Introduce. Who is this mystery man? Who's the man behind the curtain?
baby, this is Mr. Paul DesLauriers,
Yeah.
my husband.
That's awesome. Where did you guys meet? How did y'all meet?
We we met in Memphis too. We met
Oh,
in
really?
Memphis. Yeah.
Memphis is for lovers.
I had my long Beyonce hair in, and I felt somebody staring at me, and I turned around, and he was looking at me. We locked eyes, and he was like, "Hi, I'm Paul," and we shook hands, and I was like, "I'm Annika," and then we we didn't see each other for a long time after that, a few months, and then we saw each other at a festival. And I just always thought it was strange that we had this first meeting, like, where we were so nervous and stuff. And then the next year, we saw each other in Memphis again, and he asked me out.
Ah, right on.
And he didn't let me go after that.
Good.
He asked me out, that was January, and then he proposed in May, and then we eloped in that August.
Oh, my goodness, man. Let us
So-
not waste any time here. Let's just get right to it.
What'd you say, baby?
I said, I'm no fool.
Yeah, you're a good man, my friend. You are a good man. I love it. Well, let's chit-chat a little bit. We got into this a little bit with blues societies and with promoters, especially with promoters of festivals. And, of course, the genre in and of itself, right? Mm-hmm. The biz. What do you feel are the biggest, I don't want to say downfalls, but like what's happening right now within the state of the blues, especially within the confines of societies, within maybe even the foundation in and of itself, and then of course the promoters and stuff. Now we had talked about it because they're just not bringing in heritage.
Mm-hmm.
However, like, does it start and stop there? Where, how does this all kind of tie in?
I think it's the education part. I feel that there is a process. So the Blues Foundation obviously has their process for, let's go with the IBCs.
Sure.
They have a process. You compete at your local level, and if you advance, then you come to Memphis. Well, that's a good opportunity, for you to come and smooze and do all that good stuff. Meet people, bring your cards, do the thing,
Mm-hmm,
But the first thing is that you need to compete at the local level.
Right.
And I find that some artists expect to just be chosen.
Sure.
Without competing because we're heritage artists. Now, I don't prescribe to that. I believe you got to do the work.
Right.
And part of doing the work, you make a record, send a couple of copies to the Blues Foundation so that they know who you are. They can put on, on their website or in the store, or whatever. Or they can just put in like a gift bag or something,
Mm-hmm.
that they give out, yearly. But I hear from artists that sometimes they don't feel like the blues societies are accepting of heritage artists. But again, if you're not competing in the local level, then I don't feel that you have a fight. Now,
Okay.
if you are competing, let's say you compete a few years and you don't make it, then because hopefully you're getting better every time you
Right,
compete.
right.
So I would hope at one point you make it to Memphis. But I do find that there's this idea that just give to heritage artists. I don't believe that. I believe that just follow the process, and then if the process isn't working for you, or you feel that there is some bias, or then you have to take it up. You have to take it up with the Blues Society.
Sure, sure.
That's where I stand on that. But I also think the Blues Foundation has a very difficult job right now, trying to balance their role and just in this racial divide in our country.
Yes.
I think they're having a hard, and not that, of course they're going to have a difficult time. Our president's having a difficult time, having to deal with the racial issues, the racial tension in our country. So solutions, again, conversation. What are tangible solutions? What can we sit down and agree today and say, you know what, if you're going to hold an IBC, and make sure that you're not just marketing to those white bands. Make sure you're marketing to everybody and making everyone feel welcome enough to compete.
Right.
Maybe you hold the competition at a neutral place, not and on a neutral part of town, a diverse part of town. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
There's certain part of towns we can't go. So, because we look a certain way. So have it at a neutral place where we, all can come together and all feel welcomed and special.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What does keeping the blues alive mean?
I believe that this music has evolved over the years. And for me, keeping the blues alive is, just carrying that torch of what my ancestors, left for me to grab and take on, So I feel like every time I get on stage, it's not just me, it's like me speaking, being the voice of my ancestors,
Right.
So keeping that voice alive, keeping that going.
Now, how do you feel about like kind of the purist issue? Like I'm starting to read like, well, there's a whole lot of guitars and blues right now. There's a whole lot. It turned into rock and roll, and it's not really blues anymore, and things like that. What's your take on that? Like, I mean, is it an evolution or a de-evolution? Or
I'm married to a rocker, so I think, I mean, I love that. Again, I love that it's evolved. Do I think there are a lot of wankers out there? Of course. But is it bad? It's only bad to me when I go to a festival and it's all wankers and one singer.
Right.
That's when I start. I'm like, okay, so we got to deal with all this chang-a-lang and not,
Oh man. Okay.
But then I'm like, okay, I'd like to have some, more singers. That would be great too. But
Sure.
I do find, you do find that a lot. You find like you have just blues festivals with just wankers, and that's, I feel like that's a problem sometimes.
I know some blues societies that overlook blues artists, straight up blues artists, and promote very much non-blues artists.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help at all? Like, is it like, if you're claiming to be a blues society and you're, supporting things that are not blues, like, I'm down, like support all music. Like, if you like it, like it. But if you're going to be doing, something like, bringing people to Memphis, or in your mission statement, you're keeping the blues alive, but you're supporting non-blues artists. Is that right? Or is that kind of straying from the path? Like, is that keeping the blues alive? Is that what,
I mean, if you call yourself a blues festival and you're not honoring the culture of blues,
right?
then you should just call yourself, a music festival,
right?
And then
or,
we won't
or
have
society
that.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Yes,
we won't.
yeah,
Then we won't have that argument. It's just
exactly. It just seems so obvious to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, it seems obvious to me.
It's obvious for sure. It's obvious to me too, because it's like, okay, well, where are the blues artists?
Yeah. Well, it also goes.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, it also goes back to what we were saying, where, like, this is, if you're gonna be doing something like that, you got to respect where it came from. You have to respect the tradition, the legacy, the heritage, all of that, because I believe that that's all part of this, and not just part of it. It's probably all of it. When you really break it down, people feel their blues differently. People have their blues differently. Whatever. I get that. But if you're using this particular art form, and I'm not trying to tell people who's right and who's wrong about how they play or what they play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's got to be that level of respect, Maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong?
I agree with you. I agree that the tradition does have to be honored. I also feel that heritage artists should, have a place on these festivals. But I also feel that, you have the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers they run the industry. They have the money. Money runs the industry. Just like money runs this country,
Yeah.
They have gatekeepers for a reason.
Right.
And so how do we, again, strategically, how do we, maybe we find a gatekeeper that has money too and put
Right.
us in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There has to be some strategy to where we create a place for us. We create this where we fit into, not just a space for us, where we fit in with the other gatekeepers and get them to see, like, hey, you don't need to be including these heritage artists too.
Right. So with that said, and I want to get your take on this, because I like I said, when I was saying that I am going to have you on the show, I was expecting to get educated myself. You have this ability to speak so much truth in such a way that it just kind of, like, people get it. People understand when you talk. You have that power. You have that authority. Now, because of all the craziness that's gone on in the blues industry, now blues is probably the foundation. It's definitely the biggest part of what it is that I play musically. It's not everything that I play musically, and I never claimed that it was everything that I played musically. But it's a big part of it. It's the foundation of what it is that I do. And then I add on top of that and add on top of that and so on and so forth. But, sometimes people kind of pigeonhole you and say, hey, Ken Valdez is a blues artist. Where I might say, well, maybe not.
Some days.
But this is the thing. It's like, I feel this unease. I'm just trying to be myself, I'm just trying to do what's right. And there's times where it's like, yeah, if I wanted to call myself a blues player, you better believe that I'm going to be respecting that tradition and heritage and everything else. I know exactly where it comes from. I get it. I've lived my crazy life as well. I've understood those blues.
Yeah.
I am a person of color. I have been pulled over for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
I have been, very, very much profiled. and it doesn't feel good. And I mean, I can keep on going and going and going, but that's not the point. I guess where I'm going with this is, you know, although I don't necessarily want to be pigeonholed into anything, like I get damn nervous about even calling myself a blues player just because of all the craziness that's going on lately within this particular industry, where it's just like, man, I got y'all's backs to the point where it's like, look, I'll step away. Like I'm good. Like I don't want to do that to you guys, because if that's how you truly feel, then I am, far be it from me to be like, yeah, well, screw you guys. This is what I do. No, no, no. I want to help, but I also want to know that I'm doing the right thing. Could you give me a piece of advice as far as, that's concerned, about that dilemma, if you will?
Well, yeah, for sure. I think in people that are allies, I consider you to be an ally.
Thank you.
We know your heart. We know that not all artists out there are against heritage and black artists. Other part is you're very talented.
Thank you.
So a lot of our issue comes from the talent not being at a level where we feel as though that we should be at that same level, but or beyond, because of our talent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like sometimes the gatekeepers, powers that be, that they again put. Now I'm not going to say talentless, but I don't know how to say it where it's right. Well, I'm not going to say talentless. I'm just going to say maybe it's the image or whatever that, this person may, or
sure,
these people may get ahead. But true allies, I feel, will say, you know what? Something doesn't look right on this festival. Something doesn't look right on this label. Something doesn't look right on these charts.
But what if that's all they know?
Well, if that's why we're having the conversation.
Yes. There you go. Yes.
We're having the conversation because once you know better, you do better.
Yes.
That's just it. You have to, and then you can't say that you never learned it, because you have people like myself speaking up, Marquise, speaking up and saying, like, this is what it is. Are you going to help us fix it, or are you not?
Right.
We need allies. We need people standing up and saying, you know what? I'm standing with you. I'm rocking with you till the wheels fall off, because we can't just be the only one fighting. We can't just be the only ones fighting. So I would say to you, stay the course.
Thank you.
Stay the course. And do what you do. Continue to do what you do and make an impact, make a name, make, what is it? Yeah, just make an impact.
Yeah. No,
I
appreciate
good.
that. Yes, I appreciate that. I got a couple questions here that I got to get in, and then I got to get you guys to do a tune, and then we'll finish our conversation and call it an evening. But I'm just kind of looking at a few of these comments and stuff, right? And this comment came in: what can be done to diversify the audience? The audience in most blues shows I attend are roughly 80% white, or white guys in their 70s, regardless of whether the artist is black or white, male or female, young or old. How would you diversify the audiences? I have my opinion, but I'm wondering if yours is going to be roughly the same.
Man, I always think it's about where you put these festivals, where you put these shows. If you're just going to, like, a more white neighborhood or, whatever, then you're 9 times out of 10 going to get just that. I played festivals, in Texas, where we go drop in the middle of the hood,
right,
and then you get the demographics. So maybe, you drop in downtown of your whatever your city is. Downtown for Houston is very diverse, so the family can come out and sit on the lawn and watch a band. So, I really think if we're going to diversify, we're going to have to start with the education part. And we're
Yes,
also going to have to choose where we're putting these festivals and where we're putting these shows.
absolutely. Now, with everything that we've said, everything that we've talked about, you and I have seen some really ugly, ugly comments. We've talked
I
about this.
read them on the news sites. I always go to the news sites, and I read the comments, and I'm like, there's some really disgusting people out there. Even reading the verdict, or we
Hmm.
watched it live, of
Hmm.
course, but then, going to the news sites, and people are just like, oh, well, there goes America, you
Right.
know. And
Oh
I'm
my God, the
thinking, like, are
communists
you
win.
serious?
The mob,
Yeah.
that's the thing that I loved was like the mob is gonna take over and they're gonna just be looting and there's gonna be all kinds of craziness going. And here I am looking at just people just loving each other, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, there you go. But I guess my question to you is, and I don't want to make this political necessarily, but
Hmm.
something's got to be said about people who kind of view things in such a way that they these people that didn't like the verdict, these people that feel that that we're all barking up the wrong tree. This stuff doesn't really happen. It's you know we need the police. Police don't do this, and he should have complied, and so on and so forth. And you read all this crazy stuff, and it's
I love
crazy,
reading the "Comply, Don't Die," and
right?
and you're like, if I tell you my story of me being on the road and getting pulled over, and the young cop, has me on the back of my car with his hand on his weapon. I'm in yoga pants, flip flops, and probably like a little tee.
No,
I
me
don't look
too, man.
threatening. I
I
don't
think
look
that's why they
threatening
pulled me
at
over in the
all.
first place.
Yeah. Oh, you're in your yoga pants?
Yes, and a little T.
Well, see,
That's a frightening sight. I'd pull myself over. Get out of here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you deserve that one that day. So,
Yeah, yeah. Me,
but
me
it's
too.
it's so crazy, that people will defend that. I always ask people, like, when they post about police brutality and how, oh well, blacks aren't the only one getting killed, all that. I hear you, but you also got to understand that blacks make up 13% of the whole population,
Right.
but yet we make up like an abundant percentage. I think it's like 25% of shootings by police. That's a problem. We should not be the same percentage as white people in this country. Well, white people are the majority in this country, but we
Right.
share the same percentage of police shootings. So that means that police are killing black people
Yes.
and people of color
Yes.
more than they are killing white people.
Here
And
was the thing.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead. No, keep going. I'm sorry.
no, but I just, again, those are the facts, and this is not just I hate cops or anything like that. I have friends that are cops.
Right.
I love my friends that are cops.
Yeah.
And I love the good cops out there too that I don't know.
Yes.
But we have to be factual so that we can try and move forward.
Yes. Yes.
That's the thing. We have to be factual.
Yes. So we were talking last night, and this is an interesting story because we were talking about touring, and we were talking about the places that we'd go, and where sometimes it did feel downright scary. And I gave you this story about touring with this band of mine. You had myself, and you had a guy named Mario Dawson, who happens to be black, and you had my bass player Tucker Sterling Jensen, who was white. And then so we're cruising around everywhere. And when it got rough, and there are times that it got rough, Mario and I would always tell Tucker, like, dude, if anything happens, you do the talking. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and please let them know that we didn't like kidnap you or anything like that. But just, seriously, they're going to listen to you more than they're going to listen to us. That's just the way it is. And he, for a minute, he didn't really buy into it, but then he started understanding. He started seeing it. He started getting it. And it was really interesting to know that, like, and that's real. That's real. Those are experiences that I can't, I have no need to lie about them. And I these are experiences that have made me feel the way that I feel right now. Why I feel like I am an ally. Why I feel like this is an important discussion to be having, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, it means a lot, because this is real life. This is what, especially for entertainers, right? That's what we do. We go play and we go make music. We try to make people happy.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just get, wrong place, wrong time.
The journey there is always like interesting.
Y'all wonder what it is that we get paid for. It ain't playing. It's everything in between. Yeah. That journey is sometimes quite dangerous,
Getting to the gig.
Yeah.
And not having Chipotle, baby.
Watch out. Watch out. Oh man. Let's get into one more tune. Ask you a couple more questions. We'll say our goodnight. Is that all right?
Cool with us.
Very good. Thank you so much for hanging. Man, I am having a blast. Annika Chambers, everybody.
We're going to do this tune. Yeah. While Honey gets my vocals together. Yeah, I want a little reverb. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to do this tune. Baby, it's George Harrison, right?
Correct.
Yeah. We recorded this too with our buddy Chris Pete and JP Soares and my talented hubby over here. And we did our little version of, it's not really a little version. I wanted to do like a little soul version of Isn't It a Pity? So we're going to do it like this. We hope you dig it, all right? Isn't it a pity now? Isn't it a shame how we break each other's heart and cause each other pain? How we take each other's love without thinking anymore, forgetting to give back. Isn't it a pity? Some things take so long, but how do I explain when not too many people can see we're all the same? And because of all the tears their eyes can't hope to see, the beauty that surrounds them, isn't it a pity? Yeah. I like that, baby. That's my baby, y'all. Yeah. Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame how we break each other's heart? Yeah. And cause each other pain. How we take each other's love without thinking anymore, forgetting to give back. Isn't it a pity? Can I say that one more time? Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame how we break each other's heart? Yeah, yeah. And cause each other pain. How we take each other's love without thinking anymore. Forgetting to give back. Yeah, isn't it a pity? Yeah, isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame? Oh, how we break each other's heart? Yeah, yeah. Isn't it a pity? We all just need to love on each other. See, we all just need yeah. We all just need, yeah, we all just need to love on each other. Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame? Oh, isn't it a pity? Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a shame how we break each other's hearts and cause each other pain? How we take each other's love without thinking anymore, forgetting to give back. Isn't it a pity? We all just need to love on each other. That's what we need to do. Amen.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh, that got me all worked up.
Yeah, me too. Dude, you're grooving over there. You're grooving over there. Yes, sir. That was so good. That was so good. So, aside from all the craziness we've been talking about, who are your influences? Both of you. Who are both of you? Biggest influences.
Talked about Fleetwood Mac, so
yeah, I'm a huge Peter Green fan.
Absolutely.
As far as influences, like every sort of kind of North American white kid grew up listening to rock and roll and stuff like that, and everything that had a blues tinge to it was very attractive to me.
Yeah.
So I got into Hendrix, I got into the sort of blues rockers, of course, and stuff like that. And I think kind of the apex of it all ended up being sort of B.B. King and Albert King and those guys. And then you went back in time to Muddy and all the way back to the Delta guys, And much like you said, it's something that's informed every kind of music I've ever done,
Right.
But the blues informs all of it.
Yes.
And it's I think musical life as a non-heritage artist, as a non-black person, should be about honoring where all of that comes from, and knowing I can never be that, but I will pay loving respect to that every time I perform, and never forget where that music came from.
You're a good man. You're a good man.
It's life, man.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
If you don't understand that, you got things to learn, I guess.
Right, and that's why we're having this conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Precisely.
Yeah. What about you? Singing wise or just musically?
I told you I grew up in the church, so I grew up listening to Mahalia Jackson. That was one of my very first influences. I love the tone of her voice and just the delivery of just delivering any song. I always listen to her. Oleta Adams. I'm a big girl on tone. I value that.
God, I'm so glad that you said Alita Adams because she's amazing,
I
and
mean,
she's
one of my favorite songs by her is "Get Here."
yeah. I was just gonna say,
You
get here, right?
Yeah, it's like
So she's friends with she's very very close with my extended family, if you will, the Peterson family out here. So she's
Okay,
been
yeah,
out here a
yeah.
lot, and just like that gives me chills just thinking about it because she's so good.
Yeah,
And then again, like on
unbelievable.
all of those, Tears for Fears records, and then her own records, and then whatever she does with them, it's just like God, what a world class talent,
Yeah,
and she needs to be even more well known.
I agree. I
Yes,
totally agree.
I
And
love that
then
you said that.
yes, Alita, yes, and then Yolanda Adams, one of my favorite, absolute all-time favorite gospel singers. She's from Houston, amazing singer. And I guess I'm sorry, baby, I'm moving. And then that's my nervous hands. I look India.Arie, Coco Taylor, Etta James, of course. Who am I missing? Am I missing somebody? Oh, of course, Aretha. Yeah, I felt
Absolutely.
like Aretha encompasses like everything a vocalist, entertainer, wants to be. I never. I mean, of course, I'm a blues singer, but I'm that gospel singer. You hear all the influences when
Right.
you hear Aretha, and I feel like she's like that artist that I feel like most connected to because I can sing whatever, and it's a hit. It's, but yeah. Did I miss anybody? Oh, okay.
I love that. I love that. Who are you guys listening to now, like recently?
Oh, we've been listening to the Warren Treaty. We've been listening to Paul Pena. Oh, Eric Gales. A couple of years back, we were hanging out at Laura Carbone's house in Plattsburgh, New York, and Eric says, Paul, you need to listen to some Paul Pena. And we're like, who? It's a Paul, Pena. We're like, Pena, whatever it is. So, like, we literally listen to Paul Pena. We can listen to Paul Pena every day.
That's awesome.
And I'm terrible with lyrics, but I know all the lyrics to his songs now.
The album, this famous album is New Train that came out, 30 years after it was supposed to be released in 72 or something like that.
Sure.
And he's the guy who originally wrote Jet Airliner that Steve Miller made a hit.
Right.
But the original version is so far ahead.
Yes.
And so much groovier than.
Yes.
Than I mean, I love Steve Miller and all that. It's a great tune, and we all heard it on the radio. But man, oh man, this is.
There's
rock.
something different. Yes.
It's slow, it's funky, and it's fantastic. And the rest
Yes.
of the record is just all kinds of beautiful flavors of soul music, and stuff where he sounds like Hendrix, and it's just we've been into that. That's our kind of morning music.
I love it. I love it.
Coffee and Paul Pena. And who's the other guy that we watched a documentary on? The guy, I wonder.
Oh, that's the guy from Detroit.
Name. We just had his name.
Sixto Rodriguez.
Huh?
Sixto Rodriguez.
So we listened to him and just, fell in love with the guy's story after we saw the documentary. And he's great. So we just dig on whatever we turn on. And then we go back to Albert King and just, Albert Collins. I just sometimes you just need to hear like that old stuff to like okay, this is the good stuff.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys been doing what have you guys been up to, pandemic wise? Have you guys been staying in? You guys been out? You guys are in Florida now.
Just this.
Good.
Sitting at home enjoying each other.
Good.
We go check the mail. We're like such best friends, and we just find joy laughing every day, all day. We're not gigging just because it's Florida and they're crazy here, so it's difficult for us to get in our minds that it's time to gig. But we are vaccinated, so
Good.
We're happy about that, thankful about that.
Are you guys looking forward to gigging soon, or?
I'm more looking forward to seeing my family in a couple of weeks. I haven't seen my mother or my grandmother or my sisters. So I'm looking forward to seeing them. I come from a very close family. So we're going home to see them for Mother's Day, and my sister's turning 30 this year. So I'll be home for that as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I have
Yeah.
loved this so much. You are such a breath of fresh air. I love you both, man. Like,
We love you too.
that's
man. We
music
love
right
you
there.
too.
That's music. That's music. I love that.
I love you too, Ken.
All right. Well, thank you very much. You're a very attractive man.
Hey, let me get closer to the mic here too. Yeah, so
Yeah. But, but we're gonna be hanging out, man. I know it. We're just gonna be getting into all kinds of trouble, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again very soon, and just know that I'm so grateful for your courage and for your service, for your voice, for your music, for helping so many people at least get some semblance of a grip or of an understanding as far as what all this is about. And it's so easy to get it from you because you're so personable, you know? And that's it's a beautiful thing. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Indeed. Well, all right, everybody, that's about it. We'll see you guys next week. We got Rick Vito, Fleetwood Mac, Blues Breakers, John Prine, you name it. This guy's going to be pretty cool, I think. But I've been waiting for this, and you delivered. You delivered. So there you go.
Thank you. And y'all remember to love on each other. out
Love
there.
on each other. Yes.
That's what you.
we're about to do that after this. So.
Oh my God, babe.
Boom, chicka, boom, boom. Yeah. All right.
Told you to behave.
Oh, goodness. You guys go do your thing. We'll talk to y'all later on. Thank you guys so very much. Bye-bye.